Oh, back now on Caught Offside. JJ, just unbelievable things happening in the FA Cup. We're talking before about Liverpool and Manchester City and United and Rashford, but quite honestly, it's kind of the refreshing thing in this tournament. I don't think people care nearly as much about
No.
that as they do what's been going on with Maidstone United. They have emerged clearly as this year's FA Cup Cinderella story following their stunning 2-1 upset of Ipswich. And now they find themselves in the fifth round of the tournament, one of just 16 remaining clubs. Unbelievable. And like we mentioned, one of the players on this club on this little club from Kent is Conor Kelly, who hails from Rumson, New Jersey, midfielder from Maidstone. And we're so excited to be able to talk with him now. Connor, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm over the moon, honestly. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we'll start with today and we'll kind of work our way back. But I just have to ask you because it's the thing that I've been thinking about. Was it surreal, like waking up today and knowing that Maidstone United is currently a club being talked about in all corners of the globe? I mean, how is this crazy for you to kind of comprehend that?
Yeah, it's nuts. Even like, I read the news every day and just read the news and I'm like, oh my God, like there's a picture of our whole team and scrolling through Twitter and Instagram and just, seeing our faces pop up. It's crazy. It still hasn't fully sunk in. I don't think it will until, we're together again, like as a group, because, I haven't seen a lot of the guys since the match. I'll see them at training tomorrow, but yeah, it's been crazy.
What do you expect training to be like tomorrow? Guys just absolutely buzzing, flying into tackles because they're desperate to get a spot on the team for the next round.
Yeah, probably. It's interesting. We're playing a team called Punjab United in the Kent Cup quarterfinals. So a lot of the boys that have been struggling for minutes are going to play, and then the starters are going to have like a training of their own. And I've been injured for the past few months, so I'll be in the morning and then at the game at night. So yeah, it's definitely kind of like a comeback to reality. That's for sure. We're not playing championship clubs every week.
Oh, so Connor, can you just do us a favor and like describe Maidstone United for us here in America? We know they're a six-tier club. Are they they're in Kent? Are they prominent in the Kent area or even among the local sports scene there? Are they generally not spoken about very often? Like where do they kind of fall in the sports culture of that area?
Yeah, we're quite a big team in Kent. So Kent's about an hour train ride outside of London. Maidstone's a town of 100,000 people. Yeah, it's quite a big club. We were in the National League last season, the fifth tier, relegated this season. But we have a great fan base. I would say we get at least 2,000 for every home match. And yeah, the fans are very passionate. I mean, we sold out the allocation of 4,500 tickets to Ipswich. So yeah, we're quite a big club. Obviously, we're a ways away from like the big boys that people always think about when they think of English football. But there's life down in the national South as well.
There certainly is life, and your fans were lively, and the team was lively. Apart from players getting cramped towards the end and desperately kind of trying to clear your lines, were you surprised at how comfortable? I won't say comfortable. That's not the right word, but how well Maidstone played against the team that's been absolutely flying in the championship.
Um, No, like yes and no. I have, first off the management staff led by George Elokobi, Craig Fagan, Zach Foster Krause. They've done such a good job of like instilling belief into every one of us. I think, maybe a few times when they hit the post early on, you're like, this could be a long day. But,
Yeah.
as the game goes on, I never felt comfortable, I would say, but I believe the entire time that we could get a good result. It's way worse not playing, to be honest. I think you feel the nerves a lot more. But yeah, we have some very good players on our team, players that could play probably a ways higher. I think we have management staff that'll go on to do great things in the game. And if you catch anyone on their day, anything can happen. That's the magic of the FA Cup as well.
Yep.
Yeah, just, I mean, how do you get from Count Basie Park in Red Bank all the way to the FA Cup Portman Road? How did that happen?
Yeah, so I guess like a little background on myself. I played at Duke. I went there for 4 years, and I was injured for the 2 years after I committed, so I barely played going
Right.
into Duke, and it was it was a bit of a transition. did my 4 years there. Didn't have the impact that I wanted. Wasn't the right place for me football wise, in all honesty. And then did a 5th year at NC State. Had a really good season. Was all ACC. Had the most goals for a midfielder. And I was like, okay, I have English citizenship, and I
Right.
want to come play in England. But we'll see what happens. And yeah, I didn't get drafted, which was unfortunate. And then, yeah, I had plans to come over to England last January that fell through. Went on trial with some USL clubs. And while I was doing that, I got pretty bad ankle injury. I was out for 4 to 6 weeks. And from there, there's really no window of getting signed in the US. So I made a decision. I was like, I'm going to take a leap of faith here. I emailed like 25 agencies in England. And I was like, I have to get games. You know, it's been so long. So Count Basie Park is about 10 minutes from my house. So I played, you know, for FC Monmouth. It was great. My brother, my mom, my dad, my sister all came out to watch. And yeah, I got about 5 games in there, and then came over here in June, tried with a few clubs. But the second I stepped in at Maidstone, I knew it was the right place for me. And yeah, it's been you know, it's had its ups and downs, obviously with injuries, but I've loved being here. It's been the best experience of my life so far.
That's awesome. I mean, you said you had English citizenship. I mean, can you give us your background? Did you grow up in like in a soccer family? This was the sport you play?
So yeah, my dad played American. Both my parents are from New York. My dad came over for work for what was supposed to be 4 months, right after he got married to my mom. And then I think after about 6 months, he was like, "You should probably move over here too. It doesn't look like I'm going back anytime soon." So they stayed for 14 years, had me and my 2 siblings. And yeah, my mom played football, soccer, growing up. And yeah, I was they just kind of put me in like a local Saturday league kind of thing at the park, and I just fell in love with it. And then I would go to Chelsea games all the time. I was, you know, a 10-minute walk from Stamford Bridge growing up. So, and it was a great side that I first started watching. My first season going to matches was the 2004-2005 season for Chelsea.
Oh,
So, yeah, I just fell in love with football from that day forward. And then, yeah, I moved back to the U.S. when I was 7 or 8, and yeah, just, you know, it's been the only thing I've thought about since, basically.
can I ask you about your teammates yesterday, specifically the goal scorers, Lamar Reynolds and Sam Corn, because there's one thing that stood out about those goals was it wasn't the typical scrappy ball breaks in the box or a flicked on header. I mean, Reynolds' finish was so good, clipping it over the Ipswich goalkeeper, and Corn's finish, brilliant first touch to set himself up to slot it home. Like, the standard of play for Maidstone. Like, how would you rate the players you play with?
You know, it's funny. So when I was looking to come over here in January, I was, you know, in discussions with some League Two clubs, and I remember like thinking, no, National South, I don't know what to expect. The quality of football, or the quality of some teams, but just like how hard it is to win a match in our league
Yeah,
is incredible. You know, so we have really good quality. I would say we're a team that does like to keep the ball, but our fitness levels are incredible, and I'm not really surprised at you know those moments of quality. I think one thing I've learned from this run is, you know, I think we do stuff quite similar to guys at the highest level. It's just the little things,
yeah.
the consistency. You know, maybe the half a second that they can get the ball off their foot quicker. But in terms of quality, you know, I see brilliant stuff at training every day. And yeah, I wasn't surprised at all with the quality of those finishes, I have to say. Lamar's was actually probably one of the best finishes I've ever seen with that weak footed chip. So maybe I was slightly surprised at that, but other than that, no.
Connor, I saw you posted the video of your manager George Elokobi, his team talk, and you chimed in with ready to run through a brick wall right now. What kind of manager is he? What's it like playing for him?
He's the best. He's probably, you know, the best person I've met in football in terms of management. He just creates such a welcoming environment. You know, the basis is just give everything, and that's all you have to do when you play for him. He talks about how he was as a player, and he always says, you know, he wasn't the most talented player, but he played over 50 matches in the Prem. He had, you know, a career that we'd all dream of, and he's kind of instilled his like philosophies into us. And you know, I'm so lucky that this is my first professional environment. all the guys on the team have said that to me, actually. Like, you don't understand, like, how nice of a place this is to come in. And I can tell you, like, I was joking a bit, but I promise you the whole team was ready to run through a brick wall for him and for the club and for the entire staff. You know, it's just such a together environment, which is so nice to be a part of, especially, you know, now that I'm out. You know, everyone has been so good to me the entire time, and yeah, it's just been a joy to be a part of.
Yeah, Conor, there's a togetherness there, and it all formed around Adele in the dressing room singing. You guys were singing "Someone Like You." How does that happen? Where did that come from?
So it just came on. We were singing something. Oh, we were singing "Sweet Caroline" before that, which is a bit more upbeat. And that
Right.
was like the second song that came on. I'm like, that's kind of a finisher, you know? Like, I wanted to keep the party going a bit. But yeah, it was good. It was a nice moment. You saw one of the guys, a 17-year-old who's a local boy, Riley Court, you know, crying his eyes out, which was I'm sure he's gonna get made fun of tomorrow. But yeah, it was nice to see.
Um, Conor, you mentioned before you guys have a game coming up against, I think it was, you said, Punjab United. Your next FA Cup match, it's going to be either at Sheffield Wednesday or Coventry City on February 26th. Got about a month. I mean, can you talk a little bit about, like, is it hard to refocus on league play, knowing what awaits you a month from now as the FA Cup continues?
Like, in some ways, yes, but you know, at the end of the day, the bread and butter is the league. You know, we want promotion as well, and you know, right now I think we're fourth, and the top places 2 through 7 get promotions or playoff, so a chance of promotion. And yeah, we just kind of have to do our best at taking it game by game. Obviously, we're all human; it is hard, but you know, I think it'll be on some players' minds, but I know once like everyone steps across like the white line, like, you know, they're just focused on winning that day.
When you saw the draw, were you not to say disappointed, but was there a part of you that was like, come on, give us City, Liverpool, something like, were you rooting for one of those kind of days out?
Oh, it was tough because there were 3 teams left in the pot. Well, first off, I wanted Chelsea. Like,
Okay.
that's what I
Right.
wanted. I wanted Chelsea, or I'd take United away, Liverpool away, City away. But when we were sitting there with 3 teams left, it was us, Luton, and Man City. So my favorite player, I have 2, Ross Barkley and Jack Grealish are probably my 2 favorite players to watch. So I was like, I could meet my favorite player, exchange shirts, and you know, we didn't get a Premier League side. They're 2 absolutely massive clubs with great history. But yeah, it would have been lovely to go play in front of, you know, 75,000 at Old Trafford. But one thing I did say afterwards was we wanted that in the third round. And if we had gotten that in the third round, who knows? Maybe we wouldn't have gotten to the fifth. So
Right.
maybe this is how it's supposed to happen. Maybe we're supposed to make the quarters. Who knows? But you know, at the end of the day, we have to respect whoever we're playing, and they're massive clubs. So it'll be a fantastic experience, and I'm sure everyone will come around to be absolutely buzzing for it.
Conor, so like it's a month away now, and you're recovering from an injury right now, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I did ankle ligaments back in September and played on it through October, and I don't think I'll be able to play in the next round, unfortunately. But yeah, it's been hard, but you know, it is what it is. It happens.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, psychologically, the next month for all the players, I mean, it's going to be tough to focus on the league, right? Though, because of what's just happened.
Yeah, listen, it won't be easy, but you know, we're gonna have to do it. At the end of the day, if our cup run goes awry, we don't want to look at the league table and be like, damn, we should have focused a
Yeah.
bit more on the league. You know, we one thing we've talked about is having no regrets after every match and at the end of the season. So, you know, it will be tough, but you know, that's part of the job is you have to be able to juggle emotions and you know, in different matches. And yeah, I think we'll do that. And I know we'll be helped along by the leaders of the club, the management, the captain, vice captain. Everyone will be emphasizing the importance of each game.
Sure.
Something I'm just wondering about, because out of my own curiosity, you know, we do this podcast. We're based in the New York area. I'm from Philadelphia originally. JJ spent time in New Jersey. You know, an American soccer player going over to England carries I don't know if there's certain expectations with that of what people think they're getting or not getting, but I'm wondering if even beyond that, does New Jersey, is that like, I know here in the United States, Jersey is thought of a certain way. There's like a brashness, a toughness. Does that even like carry over across the Atlantic to England? Like, is there a reputation that people expect from you because you're from Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, to be honest, their geography knowledge of America is quite poor. I've been asked a bunch if New Jersey is part of New York, which I'm very quick to dispel as someone who's very proud to be from Jersey. But yeah, it's been hard. It's been not hard being American, but they don't expect that much in a way. I think they're very proud people here. I remember when I was on trial, I came in. 2 plays I was on trial, my nickname was Captain America, and I would have a good training. They come in and be like, "Yo, you're actually good," and I'd be like, "Well, thanks." Like, I think so too. But they don't expect much, and then I think people have come to really appreciate that I'm from America. I have a few of the boys that are going to come over and visit me this summer, which will be really nice. But yeah, no, I don't think they know too much about New Jersey, so I'm eager to show them.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Last one for me, Conor. Do you see? No, I mean, it's a crazy question at this point with everything going on. But do you see yourself trying to stay and carve out a career in England, or do you see a finite amount of time there before you come back and maybe you'll try and play here? What's the general plan?
To be honest, I think I'll spend my whole career over here. I absolutely love it over here. Just I don't know, the fan culture, how much people love the game here. It just can't compare, to be honest. And I love the US. I love like football in the US, but it's just a different level over here. And one thing that I've really enjoyed is seeing people get breaks over here. People move up the leagues here. In the US, you don't really move clubs mid-season. You could be banging in 20 goals in the second division, and you might not even get a chance at the first division,
right?
Whereas here you get, I mean, a boy I played against a few weeks back is on trial with Brentford now. There's so much more mobility, and I love the fact that if we win the league, we'll go up next year.
Right.
That is just something that is just so special, and I love being a part of it. So yeah, listen, I always say we make plans and God laughs, but yeah, my goal would be to stay over here and carve out a career and see what happens after. I'd love to stay in football after, whether it's being an agent or a coach. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if I'm only back in the States for the summers in the future. But
and look, we can send you pork roll or anything you need that you miss from home, from Jersey.
Oh my God, the amount that I miss pork roll is crazy. I miss pork roll so much.
So good.
My parents actually have a chicken wing restaurant called G Wings 22 in West Long Branch. Oh. And I have been craving their chicken wings for the past 6 months. Like, there's just no chicken wings over here that'll compare. So I know the first stop after landing at Newark Airport will be straight to G Wings.
Nice. That's a good plug. Yeah. I want to go now. We'll check it out.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah,
just name drop me. They'll take care of you.
Brilliant. All right. Well, listen, Andrew will turn up and he will expect to be covered. So,
yes. You'll be hearing from me if not. We're going to have a big problem. Conor, this is awesome. Your guys' story, your story. It's so much fun. February 26th, we'll be locked in for sure. And who knows, maybe we'll have to catch up with you again if things keep on progressing through in the FA Cup, or even not. We'd love to catch up with you and just talk soccer. This is awesome, man. Thanks again for giving us some time.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, guys.
You've been listening to the Caught Offside Soccer Podcast.